The following program is brought to you by the Center for Educational Outreach at Baylor College of Medicine.
You know, the tools and equipment of science are essential to classroom investigations. Barbara previously put together some ways you might want to introduce and reinforce the use of tools and equipment of science in your classroom. Let's take a look at what Barbara had to say.
Hello, I'm Barbara Tharp from Baylor College of Medicine, Center for Educational Outreach, and today I want to talk about tools and equipment of science. What is a tool? A carpenter uses a hammer, a chef uses a whisk, a teacher uses a textbook, a plumber uses a plunger, and students also need tools of science. According to the National Science Education Standard, the students must be able to employ simple equipment and tools to gather data and extend their senses. With that in mind, let's talk about some elementary tools and equipment that we think are very necessary in the classroom. First, there are tools of observation. Tools of observation include the hand lens and the simple microscope. There are metric measurement tools. Those include rulers, tape measures, balance scales, triple beam balance, and thermometers, as well as other tools and equipment that should be in the classroom: a computer, calculator, timers, clocks, cameras, sound recorders, compasses, hot plates, beakers, graduated cylinders, goggles, aprons, and collecting nets. These are all necessary items in an elementary classroom. And how can you introduce the tools and equipment of science to students? There are a lot of different ways that are very effective. Among those, there's the tools inventory, where you literally have the students look at each tool, decide what might that tool be used for, where might they have seen it before, what is something that's familiar to them that looks like that, and what is the name of that tool. Another way might be a tool sort. With a tool sort, you might put all the different tools on the table, ask them to look at the tools and just tell you how you might sort them. Would they be by observation, by measurement, etc.? Another way could be a diagram, where the students would literally draw the tool, maybe poster size, and label the tool. Another way might be a scenario where they, for instance, go out in the woods and collect different specimens. Among those, maybe a very small insect that they might want to look at with their hand lens or with the magnifier. Another way could be a graphic organizer with all the tools listed. And another way might be a game where they would say, possibly describe that tool. And one student might say, well, it's tall, it's white, it has a big base on it, it has numbers up the side, and hopefully someone would say, well, I think that's a graduated cylinder. Another thing that will make the students a lot more aware of the tools and equipment of science is to have a place where they're posted. Hopefully it'd be really nice if you could put them on the wall, and you can tape them with some kind of tape or with Tic Tac or sticky tack, or else you could also put them in little baggies and hang them up someplace where the students can look at them from time to time, go up and hold them, and become more familiar with them. Another thing that really adds is when you have, say, for instance, the thermometer, and you can look at all the vocabulary words that would go with thermometer. Words like graduated or vertical, or words like plastic, calibrated, or curved top. A lot of vocabulary words that are especially helpful for the ESL student. Now, why have tools and equipment, and how do they work better? For one thing, one of the most important things, I think, is that students become comfortable and familiar with the tools and equipment, that they have easy access. That means that the tools are out someplace and the students can go whenever they need to and use the tool. Students need to incorporate the use and vocabulary of tools and equipment of science into their world. They must be used consistently. That means you don't measure once a year, you don't use the hand lens once a year, but you use them whenever they're needed. And also the students need the opportunity to choose which equipment or which tool they might want to use. If you have all of them out where they can easily access them. These are some of the things that are most important about tools and equipment that you want to keep in mind as you go through the school year.
Barbara, thanks for these important tips and for the helpful reminder to consider safety and tools each time we conduct a classroom investigation.